We launched 211 Sacramento in 2008, and April of 2008, so we're going on our third anniversary, but we have really grown from 2008, when we were answering about 60,000 calls a year, to last year, the calls doubled in 2 years. At the end of 2010, we had answered 125,000.
Over the past 2 years, we've seen a heavy increase in the number of calls, just given the nature of our economic state right now.
These are folks who are brand new to not having an income. So they don't know where to turn. They don't know how to get connected to social services. They don't know where they can go for emergency food. They've usually been on the giving end, so now they're on the receiving end. We're seeing a spike in those kind of calls.
I've been taking up to 90 to 100 calls. It just depends on the day.
And that's probably been the biggest change we've seen. And it's also something that we're able to see with the specialists. They're getting those people who are calling because they're finding they're not able to make the rent check at the end of the month or beginning of the month. Just calling in for that one need, but the call center specialists are able to identify some other services or resources that might be available to them that are not necessarily that financial assistance, but something else that they're using or they are in need of. So it can really be a stepping stone to really help people more holistically than just that financial assistance.
Any children in the household?
Since we launched 211, we've really been able to partner with many agencies in our community, making it easier for them. The agency doesn't have to set up a new number. They don't have to have staff on board to answer and field questions to refer. 211 is the one number people in the community can call, and then we get them to the housing agency rather than this individual calling 7 or 8 numbers.
We wanted to use 211 because if HPRP, the Homeless Prevention Program, wasn't the right resource, they had other resources they could point people to.
It helps me get the information to my people fast and appropriately. We don't have to go through all the different little runarounds trying to navigate the system. It helps me with housing. It helps me with getting the proper food in their area, furniture as well, assistance with paying their rent and bills. It helps big time.
We get them to the right place so that they're not frustrated. We get them to the right agency. The agencies then are able to freeze them up to do their good work.
Before working with harm reduction, I was unemployed for about 2 years, and I was going through like a lot of stuff, losing my house through foreclosure, not having any income at all, not even unemployment. And through 211, they got me hooked up with housing counseling and workshops. I mean, they really, really helped me when I thought I had nothing.
The thing I appreciate about 211 is that I think it's a really hard job dealing with people in crisis. I can't do that. I'm not good at that. I think what's important is that they retain their optimism so that they can help people, because it's a really hard job listening to people facing the kinds of issues they're facing.
Once a while, people may get upset, and it's usually on the situation they're facing. So it's typically not upset with us, and we understand that. So we address it very calmly to try our best to help them with whatever we can.
Each person's situation, their crisis mode, their crisis situation is different from other people. Like, for example, some people, they're used to being behind on their utilities, so that's not necessarily kind of like an immediate crisis. They're just calling for help. Then some people, this is the first time they've been in that situation, so they address it differently. Like, they're calling and they're panicking, and the best thing we can do is kind of talk to them, have them understand that, oh, okay, we do have some resources for you, and this is what you can do to try and help yourself.
One of the things I'm very impressed with as I walk through the call center is the grace and the ease in which the agents and specialists can work through the database. They're aware that in the food closets there's particular services that are available, and then quickly they'll transition over to maybe some emergency cafeteria applications where someone doesn't need a food basket, they need an immediate meal. And they're just swift, they're passionate, they're diligent in the way that they dig information out for the callers that are in need.
Oh, it's really fulfilling to help other people to connect them with the resources out there in the community.
I feel good about it. I'm happy that we're helping people. Some people don't know where to turn to, and 211 is what sticks in their mind. Sometimes they're like, oh, a friend told me about it, or they read it, they saw it on TV, and the number just sticks in their head. Sometimes they don't even know who they're calling. So, yeah, it feels good to be able to help.
I think there's smarter ways for us to, as a community, lift people up from poverty and from crisis. And 211's a part of that. And I didn't just make that up, that's true.